Good afternoon. My name is Rachel Reed on behalf of ThunderBayLive.com. I'm in the studio with Andrew Foulds, the NDP candidate for the Thunder Bay Superior riding. How are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. Thank you very much for the invitation this morning. I appreciate it.
No problem. Well, first and foremost, what Thunder Bay Live would like to know is get a little background on who Andrew Foulds is and how you got into politics.
Well, it's a good question. So a little bit about me. I'm 41 years old. And perhaps the thing that I'm most proud of is I'm a husband and a father. And I have 3 children, 3 boys, and a wonderful wife. My boys are 10, 8, and 6. Actually, they're turning 8 and 10 this summer. Well, I love them to death. I was born and raised in Thunder Bay, but I was one of those persons that had to move away. And I did move away for about 7 years. I lived in Toronto, I lived in Kingston, and then I actually started my career as a teacher in the high Arctic, basically the North Pole.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's where I started, in a little community called Arctic Bay. Mm-hmm. And it was a phenomenal experience. And then I was one of those guys who was really lucky that I could come back to my hometown. Certainly we hear all kinds of stories of people that have to leave for employment, and certainly I did too for a year, but I was lucky that I was able to come back. So I'm a high school biologist, a high school biology teacher, and so then I taught at Hammersholt, and then I taught at PACI, Hillcrest, and now I teach at the new high school, Superior High School, and I've been a teacher for 17 years now.
Fantastic.
Well, it's a wonderful occupation. I mean, it is really one of those occupations that you can make a difference and make a real impact on people. And I guess that, first and foremost, is one of the reasons why I wanted to get involved in politics. My father was an MPP for 17 years, okay. 16 or 17 years. He represented Port Arthur from 1971 to 1987. And then my mother was also a school board trustee. And I was able to, growing up, see the kind of positive impact my parents could have on the community. And I was inspired by that. And really, I have been very, very lucky in my entire life that I've had access to good education, good healthcare, good recreation, and good employment. I've had every opportunity for success. And seeing what my parents did when I was younger, seeing what I see in the schools, I see so many people that don't have the same opportunity for success. And so in 2006, I really wanted to step up and do more. And in 2006, I decided to run for Thunder Bay City Council.
Was that tough? I mean, going from a school teacher to politics.
Well, it was tough in the sense that it's tough on my family. And I mentioned in my opening comments my wife, and she is just a wonderful wife, wonderful mother, and she allows me to do the kinds of things, because I would teach all day and then I'm doing all my council work at night. And so we've really got a great relationship where we balance each other off. And so with City Council, I think, luckily enough, I was reelected in 2010. And I think I'm really proud of the work that we've been able to accomplish on council. We're a good working council. We've really moved the yardsticks. And so now the reality is I want to do more. And I mentioned about opportunity. And since this campaign, since I was nominated 18 months ago, I've been from one end of this riding to the other, up to Nakina, to Marathon and everywhere in between. And I see so many people that are frustrated. And I see so many people that don't have those same opportunities that I've had for success. And they're thirsting for it. Mm-hmm. They want it. And I guess really what it comes down to is the reason why I'd like to represent Thunder Bay Superior North is I want to fight hard with everything that I have, all my energy, all my, drive, to make sure that everybody has the same opportunity for success that I've had. Because I think if everybody did have those same opportunities, frankly, there'd be higher quality of life. And I see so much unhappiness. I frankly think more people should be happy.
For sure. So, as you say, you've been going back and forth all the way across northwestern Ontario. Now, you're going door to door. What's most important to the people that you're talking to face to face?
Well, first and foremost, I am from Thunder Bay, but Thunder Bay Superior North is much more than just Thunder Bay.
Right.
And it's really it's fundamental for me that all the constituents in this huge riding are represented. What's interesting is, of course, each one of these little communities do have their unique needs and concerns. Right. But what is fascinating is the things that really unite us, those things that are important to us. Talking to people, it's interesting what they're saying to me. I am not one of these politicians that I've never thought it's my role to tell you what's important. What I've always from my very core is I've always wanted to listen to people, and then what I do is I look for those common themes and those common issues, and then take a position based on those common themes. I've always thought about being thoughtful. I've always thought about being strategic. I think it's important to listen, but also do the research. But what's interesting is, since I've been nominated as the candidate, is those issues that have come up. And perhaps not surprising, the issue of trust has come up a lot. In the last 10 years, under our current Liberal government, we have seen a number of scandals. Whether it's e-health, whether it's the gas plant cancellation, whether it's Orange. These issues have permeated the North, and people are frustrated with it. There are some people that are angry about it. And one of the things that drives me is people have lost faith. So it's a trust and faith thing. And one of the things that drives me to run is I want to try to restore some of that faith. I want to earn people's trust. And that's why I'm knocking on people's doors, is because I want to make that connection and earn their trust and ultimately earn their votes. Yeah. I'd like to government, I think, should be an instrument of good and should be a place of hope where we can do better. And I want to do better. So that's one of the big issues. Of course, we hear some of the issues about jobs. And I talked about, people want to work.
Oh, exactly.
And they want to work in their home communities. I can't tell you how many doors that I've knocked on where, the husband is gone for 2 weeks, back for 4. That's tough on families. People want to stay in their communities. They want to stay with their families. The same with healthcare. We hear about records being set at Thunder Bay Regional with gridlock. But those same issues are happening out in the region where people don't have that same type of access to health care. Long-term care patients are in acute care beds, and they don't want to leave their communities because their family support is there. Mm-hmm. Jobs and, back to the jobs thing, we talk about Ring of Fire, and, Cliffs is gone. Yeah. There's a lot of frustration out there about what is going to happen. The duty to consult with First Nations. And of course, we've heard a number of announcements very recently, which builds on a lot of the cynicism out there. Why are these announcements being made a week before an election? Then why are they changing during an election? It feeds into this cynicism and, do you really believe what they're saying? And I guess what I'd like to do is restore some of that faith and trust. We need to make the investment in Ring of Fire and that infrastructure. But it's not just Ring of Fire. It's, can we connect some of those communities together, right? So they don't have to spend every cent that they have on food. Are there other economic developments for those northern communities? So I think it has to be thoughtful and comprehensive. You know, the infrastructure across the north, we know that twinning the highway, increasing passing lanes builds on safety. We know goods move along the north. We need to make sure that it's safe and it's robust. Energy, huge issue.
Yes.
If you're a mining company, you need to have the confidence that you're going to have the energy that you need to set up shop. You're not going to be investing millions or billions of dollars without that kind of confidence. You know, our party is also committed to public transit. You know, a huge investment in Southern Ontario because, of course, that's what they have. But we build the cars here.
Right.
And we have the quality control here, right? We build good trains, good subways. I was at Bombardier the other day, and you could just sense the guys are committed to high quality products. I'm really excited about some of the stuff in our healthcare platform. I talked about, you know, the gridlock.
Yeah.
We're committed to things like 50 new 24-hour health clinics, you know, to try to alleviate some of the emergency room issues. But the other thing about our platform is we're going to be transitioning some of this stuff to be more proactive. I mean, let's face the fact, a hospital, you go there when you're sick, that you're reacting. Right. We want to invest in dental health care for young people, right? In Thunder Bay, we know that high school absenteeism, dental health is the second leading cause. We know that dental health, if you have poor dental health, it permeates other health problems. So now they're sicker and they're not attending school. Right. If we can invest in kids in good dental health, they'll be healthier, but they'll also go to school. That's proactive. We're also going to be investing in nutrition programs. I could tell you as a teacher, if a kid comes to the school hungry and they're in my class, do you think they're really listening to, you know, a lesson on photosynthesis?
Right.
They're thinking about where they're getting their next meal. Yeah. And so if we can invest in that, when they're in class, they're going to be learning. And if they're learning, they're going to be successful. And if they're successful, they'll be happy. And so our program is thoughtful, it's strategic, it's also practical. It's not sort of moon and the stars kind of stuff. Right. It makes sense. It will make a difference. And you can count on us to actually do it. And so I'm really looking forward to, you know, earning people's vote, earning their trust, and showing them that there is a choice out there. They can make a better choice for the future.
That's absolutely fantastic. Now, is there anything else that we need to touch upon before June 12th? Now, is there anything that you think that is going to be most important to us here in the Thunder Bay Superior North? What do you think is going to be the game changer?
Well, there's a few game changers, I think. I mean, like I said, I was born and raised in Thunder Bay. I moved away. I liked those other places just fine, but I always knew that I wanted to come back to the north. I mean, my favorite pastime with my kids is we're anglers. We love fishing. We love spending time in nature. We love snowboarding. I believe that things like investment in that transit, investment in Ring of Fire, investment in all that infrastructure in the north, it's a game changer, not for the north necessarily just, but all of Ontario. Right. And so part of my job, if I'm privileged enough to serve, is to tell our story to the south and say, we're in this together. 5,500 jobs, $2 billion worth of revenue, that's huge for the entire province. That's a game changer. And so you need to have a champion that's able to tell that story, not only to the legislature itself, but also to the NDP caucus, so that they understand that we are on the cusp of greatness. And if we work together and we do it right, it could be great. But here's another game changer, I think. Right now, in whether it's a municipal, provincial, or federal election, off air we talked a little bit about voter turnout. Yeah. Municipally, 1 out of 10 18 to 30-year-olds vote. I think it's around 3 or 4 that out of 10 that vote provincially or federally. If we could engage youth, they could change the game. And, with all respect, all citizens deserve that their needs and rights are listened to. And so, if we were able to get young people out to vote, that's a game changer. The other thing that is a game changer is ultimately people need to choose a vision for the future.
Right.
We're living in the 21st century, and we need 21st century leadership. We've had 10 years of our current Liberal government, and you have to ask yourself a serious question: are you better off now? And, just if $1.1 billion on the gas plants, which was a very tactical decision in the last election, imagine what we could have done with that. And so I think a vision of Ontario that is accountable, transparent, and one of the things that my leader is proposing is a minister responsible for accountability and transparency.
That's very important.
And an office with at arm's length, an administration of accountability. Because again, these are practical solutions to give people confidence and more trust, that you can't hide stuff. And so a vision of Ontario that is accountable, that is transparent, that has a vision that's 21st century, that returns Ontario to greatness. I'd like to be a part of that. And ultimately, I'd like to be Thunder Bay Superior North's champion in Queen's Park.
And that's your vision.
It is my vision. It is my vision that we are on the cusp of something greatness, but the time for talk is over. We need action now. And I'd like to be a part of that action. And I can tell you that I've got the fire, I've got the energy, and we've got the plan that makes sense. And I would be humbled and privileged. And if people on Thunder Bay Superior North on June 12th give me a chance, I'm going to show them what I can do.
Fantastic. Again, thank you very much,
Thank you.
Andrew. It was an absolute pleasure. And again, June 12th, Andrew Foulds. Thank you very much. I'm Rachel Reed for ThunderBayLive.com.